The Tennessee legislature has adjourned 3 weeks early for the year without taking up any new gun restrictions, despite weeks of protests after the deadly school shooting in Nashville, of course. The governor, Governor Lee, says he will call for a special session, calling them back in a push to keep guns from dangerous people. He has some new proposals, but it is not clear when or if that's going to happen. Meanwhile, the Tennessee Three, two of whom were expelled and then reinstated over their gun protests, will meet with President Biden at the White House this afternoon. One of them, State Representative Justin Jones, joins me now. And I have to tell you, it is a huge pleasure because, Justin, I've met you on television, but not in person. So it's great to talk to you in person.
It's so good to see you in person as well.
Well, thank you for being here. So what are your expectations from this meeting with President Biden? What do you want to communicate to him?
Yeah. Well, I just want to be clear about what led us to this point. It was thousands of people at the State House protesting, students, mothers, victims of gun violence coming that have led us now to the White House to meet with the president and talk about two things. One is continuing the call for an assault weapons ban. And secondly, we have to talk about the assault on our democracy. Those are the two things that I'm hoping to talk with the president about as part of the Tennessee Three, and to see what is the next steps for action, because it's not a moment, it's a movement, and we're going to continue to hopefully uplift the voices of our community and our constituents here in D.C.
One of the things that was so remarkable about the movement, first of all, the three of you were so eloquent, and it just radiated and expanded. The whole message went national very, very quickly. But the diversity of age, of color, gender, this was the most amazing following that surrounded the legislature and, really lifted you guys up. Well, you lifted them up at first, but...
I mean, that is such an important point because it represents this new reconstruction happening in the South, this multiracial, multi-generational, multi-faith we had Pearson from Memphis, I represent Nashville, Gloria represents Knoxville, Lily, the whole expanse of the state representing this new vision of the South. And I've said often, the Southern segregation has a saying, the South will rise again, but we are a testament to this idea that the South will rise anew, and that if we are successful in Tennessee with passing common sense gun laws, it will set a model for the nation. That it's no accident that we have an NRA-endorsed governor calling a special session on guns in the South, not because of political will, but because of people who have forced a conversation that have changed political priorities, that people have forced a conversation that have changed what is politically possible in a state like Tennessee, where they said we'll never, ever have a real conversation on gun control because they thought we were so hijacked by these extreme special interest groups like the NRA and the Tennessee Firearms Association.
Governor Lee did change positions as a result of course, the terrible shooting and the protest. Tell me how that evolved.
It evolved because, I don't think the governor necessarily saw the light, but he felt the fire, the pressure of a movement of young people saying, we want to live. These mothers who came week after week after week, sitting in the gallery, coming to his office. We had musicians, Nashville's Music City, coming to meet with him. Amy Grant, Sheryl Crow, meeting with the governor, saying, we have to do something. And I think it's no coincidence, too, that this is a Kairos moment. It is a sacred moment because this all launched the same week that Dr. King, the anniversary of Dr. King being assassinated in Tennessee. That's when we were expelled 2 days later. And it's kind of, resurrected this movement calling for common sense gun laws in Tennessee, a place where we know what it's like, to be victims of mass shootings, not just at Covenant, but this was the 5-year anniversary this past week of the Waffle House mass shooting, in Antioch, in part of my district. And so I think people are paying attention, and I really believe, I have hope that these young people are going to change what is politically possible in Tennessee, and it's going to set the tone for the nation.
Joe Biden has been calling for action on guns for years. He and President Obama were so terribly stricken by what happened at Sandy Hook. Yeah. And nothing happened. And then Mother Emanuel Church, of course, in Charleston. So what can you hope to get from the president, as he has not been able to do this when they had both houses, and now he only has one house?
Yeah. I mean, I really believe that this is one of those moments like Selma where where it's not about the votes, but it's about transcending this partisan politics. I'm coming not today as a politician, but lifting up the moral voice of my district. This is not left or right, but it's right or wrong. I've had more Republicans reach out to me in the past month, and I've had even Democrats saying, we are feeling that we need to take these weapons of war off our streets. This was a private Christian school that was hit in Nashville. And I've talked to so many independents, people who weren't even politically engaged, saying that this is a moment where everything is aligning to say that change is going to come, and it's going to be led by these young people, and it's going to be led by these mothers who are saying our grief is going to be turned into action. And so I'm hopeful, and the fact that the president's meeting with us today, we have some ideas of things that we're going to lift up, like declaring mass shootings a public health emergency, because we've had more mass shootings this year than days, and just to see what else we can do as allies, because we need, in a state like ours, we need support from the federal level. In a state like Tennessee, we need to continue to stand with our allies, whether in Congress or at the White House, to say, let's do something together, and let us lift up the moral issue of what is at stake with our children being massacred in schools.
Well, I have to tell you, Justin, what you and the other Justin reminded me of was another young student in SNCC back in the 60s. And I'm talking about John Lewis, of course, and I don't think you'd mind the comparison, but that is the eloquence and the passion and the morality that you both inspire. So thank you very, very much.
Thank you. And he got his start in Nashville. And I think that's, again, not an accident. So that is the highest compliment. But a young person who forced those who said segregation will never end in Nashville, forced it to end, forced desegregation by lifting up the moral issue. And I think it's our time again.
Indeed it is. Thank you very much for stopping here.
Thank you.